Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Roger Dubuis Excalibur Chronograph. You can see the stainless steel micro-rotor automatic chronograph and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full listing for this Roger Dubuis, with included accessories, high-resolution images, and naturally full pricing details. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. Perhaps the greatest surprise upon encountering this watch is that I can wear it. Now I've always appreciated Roger Dubuis for the build quality, for the standards of engineering and finish, for the fidelity to the heritage and norms of Geneva Seal watch manufacturing. But here's the thing, like a football fan who weighs 145 pounds, and yes I do, you're not going to be a playmaker for the most part if you have a small wrist and you're into Roger Dubuis, nor are you going to play in the NFL. But with this 42mm case size, all of a sudden we have a Roger Dubuis with all that entails that can fit on a smaller wrist and look great. So 42mm across the round of the case, the watch is incredibly slim considering the complication that lies within. Only 12.5mm thick. You can see the slope of the bezel means that this one actually helps a tight cuff get a running start up and over, so it wears well with formal attire. With a combination of silver dial, beautiful lacquered and stylized Roman numerals, and a white metal case, it's also exceptionally versatile. Now from lug to lug, the watch is relatively compact, all things considered. The Tri-Lug system means that the watch extends 50.5mm from lug to lug, and you can see to good advantage from this angle that the bracelet really is splaying out and arcing around my wrist rather than pulling straight down, so you've got additional slack if you want to wear this on an even smaller wrist, down to perhaps 14.5 centimeters in circumference. You can be able to wear this one with security and proportion. Now, you'll be glad when you do, because the feel of this bracelet on the wrist is an absolute treat. First of all, you can see that it's anchored by Roger Dubuis' unique Tri-Lug system for additional security. You can also see that on the underside, there are beautiful channels in between the links. While the tolerances are very tight on top, on the bottom, there's a nice rounded channel between each link to ensure that it doesn't pull skin or pinch skin. You'll also note that it's beautifully finished with contrasting brushed and satin finished elements. You can see the good effect in the light box, how that differentiates the metal. You can see that gorgeous bevel along the flanks. This is impressive work, and it's evocative of what you'll find on Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, and Vacheron Constantin sports watches on bracelets. Likewise, the single fold deployant has twin trigger action, so it can't accidentally pop open. There's no unfinished metal inside on the swing arms, within the clasp, within the shell, and the twin trigger ensures that this heavy sports watch can't accidentally pop open on the wrist. It must be actively released. Now before we get into the caliber, and it is a spectacular one, let's take a look at the dial to match. Now you can see this is part of the Excalibur line that Roger Dubuis launched as a sort of versatile men's line. Outgoing, a little bit flamboyant in its style, nevertheless it stands somewhere between a sports watch, out and out, and a dress watch. And this watch walks that fine line beautifully. You can see the serrations of the bezel shape that Roger Dubuis launched in 2013 with the line. You can see the exaggerated and lacquered, beautiful black Roman numerals. You can see the dramatically countersunk sub-registers, constant seconds at 9 o'clock, chronograph minutes at 3 o'clock, and a nicely hidden and stepped date window at 6 o'clock. It's there when you want it. It disappears into the monotone of the silver when you don't. There are beautiful faceted Dauphine hands in silver at center, and you can see that they're half frosted for maximum contrast, along with beautiful blued chronograph hands. So chronograph seconds at center, chronograph minutes at 3 for a handsome and becoming splash of color. Now, also handsome and becoming is the awesome Roger Dubuis Caliber 680 RD680 micro-rotor. This is an extraordinary movement. Yes, we have Geneva hallmark finish, and you can see the gorgeous Côte de Genève across the bridges. You can see the tight and even perlage across the base plate beneath the rotor itself. You can see the anglage along the edges of the bridge. When they catch the light, they're really quite spectacular. But you'll see the same standard of finish within the screw and jewel sinks of the movement. You also see the column wheel, and this is one of the few watches that features a vertical clutch, and at the same time, watch this now, allows you to see the vertical clutch in motion. So just watch the vertical clutch just beneath my finger. You can actually see the pincer arms picking up and dropping the clutch. This is one of the few watches I know of where you can see both the column wheel and the vertical clutch operating in tandem at the same time in full view, and that's all to the credit of the micro-rotor system, which protects the view of the movement from being shielded by a central rotor. A handsome movement, a technologically advanced movement, a beautifully finished movement. It's also a wonderfully thin movement because the micro-rotor is in the same plane as the rest of the mechanism. Now, this is a beautifully finished caliper that even surprises with its power duration. So it has a 52-hour power reserve, solidly more than the industry standard 42. Beautiful and long-legged, it's the perfect engine for this extravagant but practical timepiece. This will fit on a broad range of wrists. So if you love the idea of Roger Dubuis, but you haven't had up to this point a wrist able to handle the size of most Roger Dubuis timepieces, this 42mm Roger Dubuis Excalibur Chronograph is the perfect solution. Not so flamboyant that you'll look sheepish, and not so big that it'll dwarf your wrist. This is the perfect solution for those who love the finish, the technology, and the style of Roger Dubuis, but simply need a watch that fits their wrist. You can see it, you can find out if the shoe fits, and you can wear it home on our website.